Hey everyone, it's Melinda with Tailored and Teal, and I am up in my reselling room. I have quite the death pile, mostly because a lot of the stuff is coming from my mom's house. We are currently cleaning out her house with just years and years and years of collections and things that should have been donated a long time ago, but some of them have value. So these books were actually my uncle's, who has now since passed away, but he was a big collector of magazines, of books, of old advertisements, like old soap bottles, old cans. Like he basically just collected anything old. And when he passed, they did have someone come up into the garage where he kept everything to go through and see what they would want, but a lot was left over. So I pulled all of these books from the garage, which was left over that people didn't want. I believe the majority of the books are like academic books or books for kids, but some of them are not. Like this one is a new books of stories of human life, love, and experience. And this one is from the 1800s, I think. Let me find it here. From 1913, not as old as I thought. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these all out and I'm going to go through them to see if there are any like super valuable ones, and if there is, I will list them separately. But most likely what I will be doing is putting these into lots so that they can sell faster and for hopefully more money. So I think my first order of business is actually going to be to clean these first because they are very dusty, very dirty. Some of them are over 100 years old and they've just been in a garage, just kind of, collecting dust and cobwebs. So I'm just going to very gently take a disinfecting wipes and wipe down the cover, the back, and then probably the sides too. I'm not going to scrub too hard because some of the ink and the paint or whatever on these books might come off because that's how old they are. And then after they're all clean, I will go through, see what I have, and put sets together. Well, these books were filthy. This is the outcome. You can see a lot of the ink and the paint or whatever they used for books back then definitely came off. But I now feel at least a little bit more confident in selling them so they're not, completely dirty. All right, so they are all cleaned now, or at least to the best of my ability. I didn't clean the inside pages or anything. And honestly, a lot of people that buy old books kind of like the old smell and feel of books, and that's why they purchase them. So I'm just gonna leave them as is. I was able to look up all of them. None of them are really like huge money makers, but this whole pile here, I will be listing separately, mostly because they don't really fit in with any of the other books that I've grouped together, or these sold comps were good enough for me to list them separately. And there's one book that I want to show you the illustrations in. They are just absolutely gorgeous. So let me put the phone down so I can grab the book without the stack falling over, and I'll be right back. Okay, here is the book. It is called Pictured Knowledge. It was created in 1937 in USA. But back here are just beautiful illustrations. I don't know what this section is. The Adventures of Betty and Bobby and Billy and Teddy in the land of Munch and Plenty. That's probably German and I'm not saying that right, but that's cool. I just think that these are so darling. And there was one right here. He's so cute and grumpy, and I don't know why he is stabbing a pumpkin, but I'm sure if I read the story, I would know. But I thought that that was really cool. This book does relatively well, anywhere from like 15 and up, and it's in pretty good condition considering, you know, it was made in the 1930s. So these books over here actually go together. Well, some of them go together. Some of them I just lotted them together because they are the same author or same maker. So the first two that I lotted together are Town and Country and Our School because they are part of the Sheldon Basic Reading Series by Allen and Bacon. And this one is from 1965. The other one is from 1957. So those two will go together. Next up, we have these three books, and it's Upton Arithmetic for grade 3, grade 4, and grade 6. I wish that I had the in-between number 5 to kind of make it like a full set, but that's okay. I will sell them as is. And right when you open these books, they have subtraction, addition, and they have some really cool graphics. And this one was from 1945. So all three of those will go in a lot together. The next two books to go together are the same book, but are actually different. So it's A Full-Grown Nation by Edna McGuire. This one isn't in as good as condition as this one is. This one is from 1937. And then this one, the one that's in a little better condition, is from 1939. And at first I thought that they were identical, but they definitely have different pictures and either stories or history or things like that. But they have the same pictures on the inside. Like this looks identical to this one. But when you skim through the book, there are a lot less pictures and things look a little bit different. So I haven't really looked to see what the actual differences are between them. But when you put them side to side, this one is a little bit thinner than this one is. So I don't really know the significance of that. But again, these are going to be sold in a set. Then we have these. This is Up and Away and Climbing Higher. These are made by the same publisher, which is Houghton Mifflin Company, 1960, well, actually, no, it would be 1950. This other one has a lot more wear and a lot more writing, but this one is also from the same company, but this one was in 1949. So those two will go together. And then the next little lot is a lot of 7 books that are colorful. They each have like graphics on the front of them. None of them really relate to each other, and I believe they're all from like the 1930s to the 1960s. But I thought maybe the fact that they're colorful and that they have kind of cool graphics on them might help them sell a little bit. Oh, that one's completely plain on the back. That one's got a nice picture. And then there's a little circus theme on this one. So these I grouped together because none of them really do well on their own, and they all kind of have the same look to them. So they have almost the same font. They each have a simple graphic on them. The only one that's different and doesn't really belong is this one. But this one doesn't sell for a lot on its own, and I also didn't really have a place to put it in the other piles, so they will all be together. And then on the back of these, the only one that has like an actual picture is this book here. The rest of them are pretty plain. So I have a total of 36 books here. I believe most of them can sell for around $5 up to $15 depending on the book. And just based off of my quick research, I do think that there are 2 or 3 books that can go over $15. So I'm thinking I can get anywhere from $150 to $300 in pure profit because these were completely free to me. I just have to find the right buyer. I'm sure there is a collector out there somewhere who collects vintage and antique academic books, and hopefully they're going to be looking on eBay because that's where I'm going to be putting most of them. Actually, that's not true. I'll be putting them on all the platforms except for the large lots. If they weigh over 5 pounds, I won't be able to, but certainly I will be listing them on Mercari and on eBay. Well, thank you so much for joining me on this little book adventure. I hope that you enjoyed what you watched. I know that it might not have been the most riveting content that I've put out, but I know that as resellers, sometimes we have to think outside the box of things that we want to sell. We also have to learn different things. So when we're out and about in the thrift stores, we know what to look for. And the only way you get to do that is by actually doing and researching and figuring it out on your own. So I hope that this was helpful to somebody out there. So thanks again for watching. And as always, I will see you in the next video. Bye.